Team Insanity here. Today I'm going to talk to you about, what to do and how to prepare for like a big game scenario. There's a few different ways to prepare. There's if you're going to a 2-day event or a 1-day event, there's a big difference. Okay, a 2-day event, that's harder. It's a lot longer. You're gonna have to train for that one. You're gonna actually have to get in shape for that one. But for this video, I'm gonna only touch on that stuff. That's living legends and hell survivors and big, I think D-Day maybe, I don't know, but some big games. I'm only gonna touch on that just a little bit. I only have a few tips for that. Today is just for your first time, for your first entry, kind of thing. Maybe your local field is having a big game, kind of like ours is. I just want to give a few tips on how to prepare for it. One of the biggest things that I notice that kills people out there is tomorrow is actually, it's going to be today that you're watching, Sunday is going to be the big game. And one of the biggest things that I know, every single year people have to bust out pop. Don't drink pop, alright? It is terrible for you. Yeah, it's going to taste good. Don't drink pop at lunch. Okay, you're just gonna die if you have a thing of pop. Drink pop afterwards. Okay, go have fun. Go get some pop after you're done, that kind of stuff. Another thing, the night before, don't be and then getting shit faced. Okay, if your friends want to go hang out the night before, go, or the day before the tournament, just be hey, how about you come and play paintball with me in the morning, and then we go get fucked up at the bar afterwards, okay? Because then you're having more fun with your friends, and then you can still go play your drinking games at the bar. If you're gonna stay out until 4 o'clock in the morning at the bar, or hanging out playing beer pong with your buddies, and wake up, at 6 o'clock in the morning, hungover, barely even walking to the, barely being able to walk, and get out of your bed with all the, you know what I'm talking about, but you're just gonna have a bad time if you try to do that. Those are just the two basic things, and you'll see that a lot. I see people just hungover and coming out of the bar every single time I go to a scenario, and they don't last that long. You're gonna hurt your team so much, and you can probably hurt yourself too a lot easier. Another thing is hydration. Now, this is kind of like an obvious thing. I'm not just gonna sit here and be drink lots of water. No, the thing that I also notice is that if you're someone Jacob, and you just start drinking a ton of Gatorade, that's not necessarily the best. Okay, you don't want to drink just pure Gatorade all day long. The reason why is because it's gonna amount to drinking pop. If that's the only thing you're eating, if that's the only thing you're drinking, and Gatorade has sugar in it, you're still gonna get a little bit of sugar in it. If you just keep on guzzling down 3-4 of those big huge Gatorades every hour, you're still gonna cramp up a little bit. You're gonna get a little bit tired. Sure, it has electrolytes, but it's not meant to be drank that heavy so quick because of the sugar. Every time you drink a Gatorade, drink a water. Don't drink too much Gatorade all at once. That's one of the biggest things that I notice all the time. Drink a little bit of both. And I see people crash from the sugar highs on their Gatorade all the time. That's just a big thing. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. If you can, try to get sugar-free Gatorade. Another thing, when you go out to the field, don't bring, if you're going to be hungry and you want to eat some food, don't, wake up the morning before, go to McDonald's and get your big breakfast burrito sandwich at Taco Bell or McDonald's and get your pancakes. And that's Bear, by the way, that's the dog. Don't get a big huge sandwich or whatever, because you're going to be tired, you're going to crash a lot easier. It's not good. It's just not good for you. If you have a good breakfast, I know this is really scenarios, it's going to be a lot easier just in the little things. Eating a good breakfast, doing all the little things like that. Don't bring stuff here, maybe we might have some in the cupboards. Jake, was there any Lay's or anything in there? Oh. Or cookies? You don't want to bring this to the field, okay? Don't bring Lay's because it has a lot of it has potassium. It has, but you want potassium, but it has a lot more sodium and carbs and that kind of stuff that you don't really want, and it's just empty calories. You don't want to fill up on this stuff. You want stuff that's good in protein. Let's see how much protein this thing has. 2 grams. Woohoo! 2 grams in the whole entire bag of protein. You can get a little Nutri-Grain bar that has like 10 grams of protein. That's the kind of stuff that you want. Don't eat Lay's. Yeah, you don't want the sodium and that kind of stuff. You do want potassium. Eat some bananas. Bring some good stuff. Here you go. Okay, eat some good. Don't eat cookies. Don't eat that kind of stuff at the field. Bring some beef jerky. Okay, beef jerky, jerky sticks, that kind of stuff. I have homemade jerky in the fridge, waiting for tomorrow. That stuff is great because it's high in protein. It's good. It's gonna give you energy. That's the kind of stuff that you want. But now that I, stopped, yelling at you about the diet stuff, I'm gonna go a little bit into the 2-day scenario. So if you're going to something like, I don't know, like Living Legend, something a little bit longer. The thing is that most likely one day it's not gonna be, the weather's not gonna be always consistent. Okay. So sometimes if you're like pre-ordering your paint, sometimes they give it to you all at once. You don't want to keep all of your paint out in the weather, the sun, that kind of stuff. What I do, I take a cooler, okay? Say I pre-order 5 cases and I think I'm going to use 2 cases one day and 3 cases the next day. I'm going to take those 3 cases of paint, I'm going to put all of it in a cooler. You don't have to have ice or anything like that. You just want to get it away from the outside elements. Okay, if the cooler's a little bit chilled, maybe throw an ice pack in there. Don't put it directly on the ice pack, but you want it in a good spot, because if one day it's like 95 degrees and like humid and like a little rainy, guess what's going to happen to your paint that one day? It's just going to whoop, and it's going to expand a little bit. And then say the next day, it's not as humid, it's dry, it's like 70 degrees with a nice breeze. Now your paint's not going to be swollen from the humidity. Now it's going to shrink down, and now it's going to be a little bit harder. It's going to have dimples, and it's going to be there's going to be no effect. You'll notice if you go to 2-day events, you're going to notice you're going to be getting a lot of bounces on the second day. It happens all the time. I see it a lot. There's always a lot of bounces on the second day because people don't know how to take care of their paint. They're leaving it out in the sun, it gets sun-baked, or it gets rained on, or God knows what else. Take care of your paint. Set aside the paint that you're not going to use and try to, stop it from getting in all the elements. That's just, that's something for the 2-day event. Now, if you're going also to a 2-day event, you're really going to want to be in like good shape. You're going to want to be healthy, want to go to the gym, want to train, want to get that 6-pack, want to go out running, that kind of stuff. So you're a little bit more prepared. You're going to get some big old calluses on your feet. That's the good things that you want. But like I said, not too much on a 2-day scenario. But now I'm going to talk about some gear. So let's go get into the gear. Hey guys, it's Jake from Team Insanity. So first, I'm going to touch on a little bit. If you want to get crazy with, if you want to start doing like bigger games, like we're talking like 2 days, stuff like Living Legends, that kind of stuff, you're gonna want to invest in a good vest. All right. Now, if you're just doing your local run tournament, or not like a big game that comes around once a year, it's a 1-day thing, you can get away with a pod pack for the most part. But the reason why you're gonna want a good vest is because you don't want to be walking around all day with a bunch of, with a big heavy tank on your gun. You can put the tank back here, or you can walk around with one tank, and if you run out of air, you can have another one back here and hook it up. I don't know. You can get crazy with it. There's just so much you can do with tactical vests. This is a Rat 4 vest. This is one of Jacob's. You can get crazy with it, and I'd get like a Vulcan vest to where you can customize it. But one of the biggest reasons why is if you really want to get like really into it, one of the biggest things is that you're going to be carrying a lot more stuff than you are at your normal game, or like your normal like tournament, like a PSP style tournament. All you have to carry for that is just a shit ton of pods. That's really all you need. Okay, for a big game, for like a big scenario game, you're gonna have sometimes you're gonna have like a few different maps, a bunch of different mission cards. You're gonna some fields even make you have a punch card. So if you like lift up your mask or something, the refs can't always remember your face. They'll punch your card, and sometimes after like 3 strikes you're out or something like that. And you're gonna have like a player ID card. I mean, sure, you can put it on a lanyard, but if you're walking through some like heavy brush and that kind of stuff, it can get ripped off your neck. And if you get into some hairy situations, I mean, you don't want to lose that player ID card, because that can really, that can put you in a lot of trouble. So there's a lot of pockets. You want to carry a walkie-talkie. This one has a lot more. This one has a huge pocket up front, and you can really like customize it how you want. You can put, if you want, Jacob has this more for pistols, so he has like all these other little pouches for pistols and like 100 round tubes. But if he wanted to, he could rip this off. This is all Velcro. He can rip this off and put like a 4+2 or 3 or whatever, and put half of it over here, normal size pods, and carry his Titman around, and then have his pistol on his waist, and have a bunch of magazines and stuff here, and still have room for maps and that kind of stuff, and still have room in the back and stuff like that, because you're going to be carrying a lot more stuff, and you really want to have enough room for it. Now if you're just doing like a one-day thing, like I said, it's not really necessary where you're going to want to go out and buy like the biggest and best vest. All power to you, but if you really want to get into the big big part of it, you're really going to want to invest in one. This is just another one. Pockets back here, bunch of pouches. You can put a tank back here, bunch of big pouch up here for like mission cards, walkie-talkie, bunch of magazine holders, all kinds of stuff. One of the other things is you're going to want a lot of pods. Don't invest in like some dye pods. Get some like a bunch of these $1 pods, stock up on them. If you're like ordering stuff, I'd buy like 1 or 2 things if I'm ordering offline, or if I'm ordering from the store, I'll just get some extra pods to go along with it. Now you're gonna want a lot of $1 pods. Next thing is for your gear bag. What I like to say, this is just in general, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But you don't want to carry too much, because you don't want to get it stolen. You don't see me walking out with like 10 guns. You don't see me like, I have 2 guns in here. Okay, most of the time the second gun, I always give it away to a rental player or someone else to play with it, that kind of stuff. So if anyone ever wants to steal my stuff, they're gonna get a few extra clothes, a paintball caddy, and some squeegees. Woo! Okay, big deal. You don't want to carry like 10 guns. You don't want like your Eagle, like 2 LV ones, and like your Geo and Insight and all kinds of stuff. You don't want to carry that. You don't want to carry too much. What you're really going to want is that I have extra pads. You don't have to have like extra really big pads, but what you're really going to need, I think this might be the pocket, you're going to see is I have this whole pocket, by the way, is filled up with like 5 squeegees. I have a ton of squeegees. Just a bunch of $1 squeegees. And I think it's on this side. I think this might be barrel cover side. Nope, that's barrel cover side. And then I carry one good Exalt squeegee around with me. Because once you get this dirty, sometimes when you're out there, this is like, these are all one-time uses. All these swabs. These are like one-time uses out there on the field. Once you put this down your barrel, then it's caped in paint. And half the time these are like, I like to find these on sale. I'll buy like 10 of them for 10 bucks or something. And if I'm going to like a really big game, I'll swap my barrel out, throw it on the ground, and then when I get back to the pits, put another one in my pocket. Usually I don't chop paint that often, but if I'm doing pump, I'll chop paint a lot. And if I find it, if I lose it out there, oh well. If I find it, yippee, I can wash it and use it again the next day. So I have a bunch of these. You don't want to really go out there and like lose your nice expensive like $12 bomb swab or your Exalt barrel made. You don't want to go out there and lose that stuff. What I like about this is that it has the little rocket end at the end, and you can shove this down and really give your barrel a good shine. I'll carry this out there, not always too often, unless if I'm like having a really big chopping issue, like if I'm playing in the winter kind of thing and the paint is like super brittle. That's the only time I'll like really carry this thing around with me. I will, but I like to carry the $1 stuff around just because it's cheap, it's easy. You know, am I ever going to use them again? Probably not. So that's kind of where I stand on that stuff. Next thing, I'm just going to try to move some stuff out of the way here. Arm pads is a big must. And so is elbow pads. We'll do reviews on this eventually, if you guys want me to. Now what you're going to want to have extra is, smooth that, extra shirt. Just for, you know, not necessarily like a plain shirt, but you're going to want an extra shirt. Extra underwear, extra socks, extra everything. Because I can tell you, at a big game, I've been in a swamp like up to my knees before, okay? And it sucks, because you don't want to walk around the rest of the day in wet socks. And you don't want to walk around the rest of the day in some bad camo, that kind of stuff. If it's a rainy day out and you're maybe doing a 2-day thing and can't wash your clothes, don't wear your nice vented Velkin stuff. Wear this too. I'm not going to pull it out. I have like a bunch of like $20 full camo Sports Authority stuff in there. Wear that instead. Just buy some cheap, you know, run on sale clearance at your local like Sports Authority or Dick's or whatever. Buy that stuff. Wear that. Bring it for extra. So if it does rain, if you do get down and dirty, you're going to have an extra pair, and you're not going to, you know, you're not going to be caped and be uncomfortable in mud. And, you know, if it's raining, then you're not going to be wet the whole scenario. And I cannot stress enough, socks. You're going to need socks more than anything if you're really playing out in the woods and you get into some like deep puddles, that kind of stuff. Extra gloves if you want extra gloves. Me, I go crazy with headbands. I have my Team Insaity headband, I have the HK headband, and I also have my Planet headband. The reason why, sometimes you're going to be sweating a lot. You want to keep that sweat out of your eyes and going into your mask. So, you know, even a $10, you know, $10 to $5 something at your local store, you know, for just going out there for a good 10-15 minutes, you know, that can go a long way. Because you're going to sweat through some of this stuff like crazy. Sandanas, big must. But like I said, I mean, sometimes you're not even going to be out there for like 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you'll be out there for like 30-40 minutes at a time. We have like a 35-40 minute video of me on the Alien Invasion or the Red, White, and Blue game. I can't remember. But I was out there for a very long time doing some really hefty missions, I guess you can say. And it's going to take a lot of work, and you need to really be in shape, sort of. And you want to, you know, you want to be prepared. You want to have the extra squeegees, the extra clothes, that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to go out there and, because say you're just crawling through swamp, you don't want to walk out there again in soaking, muddy, wet clothes. That's kind of where I stand on clothes. Just bring extra everything. And hey, if your gear bag gets stolen, like I said, you don't want to bring like an ass ton of guns, but you want to bring, you know, maybe some extra cheapo pads. I have some nice Smart Part elbow pads here. So, you know, if someone does, God forbid, steal your gear bag, you know, whoop-de-doo, they're going to get away with like 20 bucks of lube, maybe $20 to $40 of extra camouflage, and a bunch of $1 squeegees, and possibly some $1 pods if they're that desperate. And if they are that desperate, I hope it goes to a good cause if they really want to steal my stuff. That's, I think, about it for scenario stuff. Maybe an extra backpack, so you can take all of your dirty clothes and put it in this backpack as the day goes on and hang it up on your canopy or your pits, or, you know, just throw it underneath your table, whatever. This is Tusky's bag. That just small things. Extra barrel covers. You might shoot your barrel covers. Bring extra lube. Just kind of like, it's like a normal everyday play, but it's just a little bit more. You just want to come a little bit more prepared. You want to be prepared for the worst. I hope that, guys, helps you out for the scenario situation. If you guys like the video, help us out. Show some support. Remember, we're gonna try to do a new segment, new videos every Sunday. Reviews, how-to videos, tips and tricks, that kind of stuff. If you want to see a review on this bag, all this gear that I've been throwing around, these vests, these squeegees, my hopper, the tanks, and all the guns and stuff, subscribe. Let us know in the comment section what you want to see in this new segment. Thanks for watching, and send in your user-submitted videos.